This is Evangelist Mack of the Adoration broadcast on When Christians Speak Talk Radio. Today, my beloved, I am so excited as we're doing something a little bit different. We are actually using the technology that God has given us through Zoom to make a connection with three very wonderful individuals that I have with me tonight, or actually today. And we're going to talk about something that we've never talked about on air before, and that is about financial literacy. And I am honored today to have these three individuals who are financial professionals that come to us by way of the World Builder System, WSB, we'll call it for short. And I just want to give a quick introduction to them and welcome them to Adoration, starting with our, I guess, our newest person. That would be you, right, Sonia?
Yes.
And so I have with us today Sonia Williams. And Sonia, I just had the opportunity of meeting about 2 or 3 days ago virtually. And I'll tell you that just in the last 36 hours or so, it has been a wonderful experience of being able to connect with you, my sister, and to see how you're already growing in the business, and you'll have an opportunity to talk more about what all this means. But, you know, again, I just welcome you to Adoration, and here we are free to be able to share and to just love on each other in the comfort of knowing that everything is about kingdom building, both in the heavens, but also the kingdom building that we do here on earth through our financial responsibilities. So Sonia Williams, welcome to Adoration.
Thank you.
So yes, good to hear you,
Thank
my
you,
sister, and
Matt.
to see you.
Yes.
And that would be enough, but we are also blessed to have the doctor is in the house. And the doctor that I'm talking about today is one Dr. Jackie Moore. Now, let me tell you something. Jackie Moore, I have known for several years now. She has been the glue that is keeping a relationship that I've had for over 40 years intact, and I'll explain more about that in a moment. But Jackie comes to this program today with just a peace and a calm and, dare I say, even a nurturing presence that is so much welcome when we're talking about some important things as it relates to financial literacy and just being able to understand what we need to do, not only as Christians, but just as individuals, to make sure that we are taking care of not just the kingdom, but also taking care of the provisions that God has given us here on earth. So Jackie, welcome today.
Well, thank you so much.
It is so good to see you, my sister. And I could cap it off there and we would have a wonderful program, but there's one other person, and I've saved him for last because this guy is so special. And I need to just go ahead and get through with this introduction, and it will lead right into a testimony that I need to share with all of you. But this young man is someone who, dare I say, I have known for close to 40 years, and somehow I know it has to be God's math because I'm only 29, y'all. So if I've known him for 40 years, God is doing some incredible mathematics that I just can't simply understand. However, I have rode with this guy for so long, and we share a mutual friend that I just feel like, in spite of all the ribbing that we've done between the two of us, that there is such a deep love and respect for each other. And I'm going to tease him. I know I'm going to do it as we continue on. But for all of you all, this is my beloved friend, Dennis Sawyer. Dennis, welcome to Adoration. How are you, bro?
I am wonderful. Thanks, Mac. That was a lovely introduction. Everything he said was true. But, you know, after that many years, you become family. So
Amen.
we are family, you know.
Amen.
And we extend that wish to everyone.
All right. So I got my brother and all my sisters with me, right?
Yes. We are family.
All right. That's what I'm talking about. So as
Right.
family, you guys already understand that we can kick it with each other and enjoy each other, but we do have some things that we really want to share today because we have an audience that's going like, wow, this is really different for Adoration. Adoration's never talked about finances before. And you know, this is a wonderful opportunity as we all have dealt with the effects of the pandemic. And we have literally seen world economies going under. And I can even attest to that a little bit in having to reshift some things because of the pandemic. But all in all, this is the opportunity right here and right now for us to start thinking about what are we going to do if another pandemic or a famine or some kind of natural disaster happens, and are we going to have the resources available to be able to take care of our families, to be able to sustain life beyond the 15th and the last day of the month when paychecks usually come in? So, you know, many people would not think of this necessarily as a spiritual conversation, but I actually see that because even in the Bible, in scripture, Jesus gives us many examples on how we need to be prepared for a rainy day, as we call it. And so I really want to just give a brief testimony, and then I'm going to let you guys just take us on home with everything. So this is where I was teasing Dennis and Jackie before, because I know Jackie through Dennis, because Dennis is not only my friend for 40 years, he is now really my in-house financial professional. And so everything that I do from a financial perspective now goes through him. So as much as I tease him and rib him all the time, and believe it or not, he's deserving of all of that, I also rely on my friend, my family, to make sure that I'm not doing something that could be detrimental to my family. So to really bring this on home, Dennis really became a super relevant part of my life right around the time my father died, which would have been 2015. And that's where I really got to know him from a financial professional perspective, as I was all of a sudden just given this awesome task of having to oversee whatever my father left the family, along with making sure that my mother was also taking care of financial arrangements in the proper setting. And lo and behold is when I found out that they had all these multiple investment things going on, because quite frankly, it was never a problem or issue with them about saving money. But what it was, beloved, is that they were saving it all in the wrong places. And so, not to throw any particular names out there, but they were trusting in financial institutions, which at that point were only giving them a very small return on investment. And so, to make a long story short, Dennis helped me to see through insurance products, but also exposed me to other things that involved investments that gave my family some financial solutions that I was able to use for my mother. And then, of course, why take care of mom and not take care of my own personal finances? So Dennis and then Jackie, who came in, again, being that wonderful buffer, that peacemaker, came in and together, it was like the dynamic duo that together they worked through and encouraged me to not only think about where insurance could be necessary, but also at least gave me an idea of how to get more bang for the buck,
Right.
to put it in that kind of a terminology. And today I can say that I am in a much better financial position right here, right now, than I was prior to 2015. And so I'm saying all this, beloved, because we need to stop thinking that we can just wait until tomorrow. We need to stop just thinking that if we hide the money under a mattress or under a pillow, that somehow it's going to miraculously accumulate to something when we need it. We need to know that there are people right now through this pandemic who have literally lost loved ones, and those loved ones had not made the proper provision in order for them to even be buried properly. So when we're talking about insurance and other financial products, we need to be mindful that for the church, and if I can be even more specific, for the African American community in particular, we have been, in many cases, left in the dark. So today, we are using Adoration on this special Zoom presentation to let the light be shown upon financial products, upon financial situations. And with that, I am going to be quiet, and I'm going to turn it over to, I guess we'll call you the rookie, to Sonia, to be able to just share her heart in any way that you are led to. Go ahead, my sister.
Yes, thank you so much, Mac. I'm just so proud. I'm blessed to be here, to be able to share my story and how I got where I am when it comes to financial literacy, empowering our people through financial literacy, because I know, like you said, there is a lack of financial literacy in our communities, especially our minority communities. I say that we usually don't start talking about money until when, Mac?
Until we don't have it and there are situations where we need it.
Right. When we have a money problem, that's when we start talking about money. But like you said, the key is to not wait till we have a money problem. We have to plan and prepare for those life changes that we know are going to hit our homes. So my name is Sonia Williams, like you shared, and I actually am a former special education teacher in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area. I still live in Woodbridge, Virginia, but in October of 2017, during my planning period, Mac, I just started crying. I realized I was drained emotionally, physically, and mentally. I was working so hard with the alternative program students, commuting back and forth from Virginia to DC to Maryland, and teaching 7 different subjects at once. And I felt at that point that I was exhausted and I had hit a ceiling. And I said, Lord, I can't do another day of this. But I knew, Mac, that I didn't want to stop using my gift that I believe he's given me, the gift of teaching, educating, and empowering. So I said, Lord, whatever I do next, I want to be able to impact my community. I want to help a lot of people. And, so it was through that prayer, I went home, prayed and cried some more. And one day I woke up and God had laid on my heart, teach financial literacy. And I promise you, Mac, I began to speak it over and over again. I've always believed in the power of your words. Speak those things that aren't as though they were.
Okay.
And, death and life are in the power of the tongue. And so the more I spoke it, the more I felt like in my heart, it's coming, because I had been believing it. I had the faith that this was going to happen for me because this is what God gave me. And so one day I woke up and I went out and I went to an event and I met a guy who, when I told him I want to teach financial literacy, you see this pin right here is this National Campaign for Financial Literacy. Well, he pinned it on me, and I started jumping up and down like I caught the Holy Ghost.
Amen. Amen.
And because I had been speaking it, I had been seeking it, you know? So I say, asking you will receive, seeking you find, and that day the door was open for me.
That's right, and knocking the door.
Yes, it was open. And so every time I tell people I teach financial literacy, people say, come, we want to hear from you. So I've had the opportunity to do at least three different radio shows. I've been the keynote speaker at different motivational conferences. I've even done a talk show, including like the one we're on now, you know? So I keep just sharing. God has given me the opportunity to keep sharing, to keep empowering people to know, how does money work? How do you take control of your finances and become your own money manager? And I'm so thankful that not only has this information, financial literacy, has impacted me, but it's impacting my children right now. I'm teaching them what I call to be wise savers rather than frivolous spenders.
Right.
Because our children do what we do as parents. So what are we teaching them? What are we teaching the next generation, right? We got to teach them, save now. Even when you receive your first job, when you have your first job, start saving and thinking about that comfortable retirement you want. Versus, I need 10 pairs of sneakers, and I need my hair done, nails done, you know, fancy clothes, fancy shoes, fancy watches. You fancy, girl. But that's not enough, right? And so definitely God has been using me in the position I'm in to elevate his kingdom, to share and help people to understand about money. And you know, as a teacher, I always say that, guess what? I had what was called a baby 401k. Right?
Okay.
I had about 10,000 saved up at the age of 40. Now you do the math, Matt. Was I even halfway? I wasn't even halfway prepared. I wasn't halfway prepared for retirement. $10,000 at the age of 40. And so because of the knowledge that I acquired through this business and teaching financial literacy, I took that information and I applied it to my own self. And do you know, now I'm on the path for a comfortable $1 million retirement.
That's what I'm talking about.
Not only for myself, but for my children who are 15 and 18 years old. I took the liberty to put things in place for them so they don't have to start from ground zero when they get my age.
I hear you loud and clear. And I'm telling you, I am so encouraged by the things that you have been sharing, because I definitely understand that $10,000 in a 401k, I could tell people transparently, $10,000 wouldn't carry me a month and a half.
Right. That's right.
Yeah.
And you know the reality, what I learned, Mac, I learned that the average American living here in the United States, all of us have about 10 to 15,000 saved up in their 401k. So I was right there in the average.
Amen. So
but we can do better than that. We have to do better than that. And I learned that those who take the time to acquire the knowledge of how money works have double the wealth than those who do not.
Amen. Thank you so much for sharing.
You're welcome.
Because our people need to hear that. And let me qualify that. When I say our people, I'm talking about Christian community. I'm talking about outside the Christian community. In other words, I'm talking about everybody needs to really consider what's going to happen in the next 5-10 years. What's going to happen when there's another worldwide crisis? And we need to be prepared for everything. And many times the church prepares maybe from a spiritual perspective in prayer and fasting and things of that nature, but there are some natural things that we need to also put in place, because You know, I think about the parable of the talents and how the two that invested well in the earth for the master was rewarded with eternal blessings, while the one who hid it in the ground was the one who was banished. And many of us are living a banished existence right here, right now. And so thank you for the call and the urgency that you shared in your testimony. Thank you so much. And I'm gonna have to move things along. So I want to make sure, because remember, I did say that there's a doctor in the house, and I need for the doctor to now give us the prescription. So Dr. Jackie, it's on you now.
Thank you, Matt, again for your introduction.
Yes.
And I feel it's an honor to be a part of this total group, but also an honor to be able to share with your community in Adoration the other perspective of looking at money and how money works for ourselves. So my story is that I have a PhD in speech language pathology, and I worked diligently in the Montgomery County school system and felt that they, meaning my job, was taking care of my financial future, that they allowed an individual to come in and share information, and I have a 401k. Now, all of you all out there who have any experience with it, had someone come and present, they did the blah, 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 you took the papers, you put them away, but how much did you really understand? There was no education there. There was no education as we went through our training. And so I found myself having things, needing more, but no knowledge of what it was I needed and what to do. And that's when I met Dennis Sawyer through my church affiliation. And he started asking questions about retirement. Now, I was a young person. I'm thinking, yeah, I've got time to think about that. But the questions is what really got me, because I couldn't answer them. And I don't know how many of you out there have advisors who give you information. I had one, and I trusted my advisor, but I didn't get educated by my advisor. So I was going on trust, and Dennis had just joined the company World System Builders, and they were offering free classes, financial literacy classes, which we still offer. But there, I got the foundation that I had never been given. The foundation, not just of the importance of saving, but the different strategies that we can apply to ourselves, the different options that lead to solutions for my life, which may be different for Sonia's life, which may be different for your life. But we need to understand we have the option. I became an informed consumer. And that was really important to me, because I felt that I was playing a role in the lives of the children that I educated. Now I started playing a role in my nieces and nephews and my brothers and cousins and my other friends in understanding strategies and options. And so that's what I have gained. And as a result, they're in a better place. But I also, funny that with COVID, you would think things would be kind of up and down with your business. What's happening now is we're offering classes across the country, all through Zoom. So members of your Adoration community could also participate in these classes. And so my friends who felt I'm good are now looking at the classes and getting fillings to the holes of their Swiss cheese of knowledge, because we all have a little bit, but the classes are very beneficial. And my brother now, who was always kind of blind eye because he knows me as sister and he knows how your friends know you, is now asking real questions about what to do to help his family. And so it's just been a blessing to be a part of this company and to meet, as we call it, extended family members, Sonia, Dennis, and now you, extended family members, and how we can help with our wealth and generational wealth.
Absolutely.
You know what? You are just what the doctor ordered. Oh, that's right. You are the doctor. Look, I tease because I love, but even though I'm kidding around a bit, you know, it is so important for us to be aware and to be able to look beyond just today.
Exactly.
In everything that we're considering. And, you know, we trust and believe that the pandemic will eventually go away, or there'll be some kind of remedy for it. But that doesn't mean that something even more intense won't follow after that. So, you know, again, Dr. Jackie, I look at all of this now from a spiritual perspective, saying, okay, so now that I have this time where we're all in enforced quarantine to some level, so instead of sitting around watching 6, 7, 8, 20 hours of Netflix, what can we do to be able to make sure that we are putting a foundation together that will take care of us, whether there's feast or famine? And so, from what Sonia has already shared, what you have shared, it has been incredible to just sit and to listen, not just to the words that you're saying, but also the conviction and the passion in which you're sharing it. So I just want to thank you sincerely from the bottom of my heart for just opening up, and to just let our Adoration family and any other people, because let me tell you guys, this at some point will be available on Spotify. It'll be available on iHeartRadio. So this today will never go away. It will be in the atmosphere. It'll be on YouTube. So we have an opportunity, even after today, to literally change the lives of those who come in contact with this video. And as Sonia had already promoted, to make sure that financial literacy is relevant and real in our lives. Thank you both so much. So now comes I gotta say, this is my favorite part, and no disrespect whatsoever to you ladies, but this has been my man, and he has been around the thick and the thin. God bless you, Jackie. Has been around through the thick and the thin. We have experienced so many things together, and that has been personally, it's been in music, as he's an excellent drummer, and I try to pretend to be some kind of quasi musician every once in a while. He would actually say that I'm some sort of ringer, but I am going to let that go for today. Only because we're going to talk about something that's a little more serious, a little more relevant. But as I said in my introduction, Dennis has been there, and he has been at the forefront of almost all of the financial decisions that I have made from 2015 going forward, whether they were for my mother or for me personally, even for my children, and even extended members of my family have now experienced the Dennis Sawyer effect. And they love him for reasons that I just simply don't understand, by the way. But they love him. But Dennis, I just want to give you the opportunity, as they have already done, just to kind of share your heart, and to just in whatever manner that you're led to do, to just encourage us to really consider our financial futures. The floor is yours, my friend.
Thank you, Mac. Hello, family. Good afternoon. Like Mac said, I've known him for a long time. I consider him like an older brother, but we have shared many things in these years, you know. And well, you know what? Let me tell you a little bit about me. My name is Dennis Sawyer. I'm from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I came to the Maryland, D.C. area, Virginia area to attend Howard University. And actually, I went to school for electrical engineering. And that was my dream, to be a music producer. I didn't know electrical engineering was way different than being a music producer. But actually, I ended up owning a recording studio. And as I moved away from Howard, I got a job with a company called United Technologies. And it was a dream job. I loved what I did. You ever love what you do? I loved that job. And I was a young man. They were throwing money at me. So I did everything a young man with money would do, or some of us rather. I partied like it was 1999. But eventually you start listening. And my coworkers were always talking about retirement. And I'm like, retirement? What is this retirement thing all about? And they said, one day you're not going to be working. I'm like, really? I thought I was going to be working forever, And they said, no, one day you're not going to be working, and you have to take the money that you have now for your future. So I said, oh, okay. So I started working all the overtime they threw at me. Then I started buying real estate. I owned 6 houses that I was renting out. And wow, more money. I was like, this is a great retirement plan. So then I got into the stock market. And if you ever heard of Enron, I had a lot of shares of Enron. And, then I got into gold and silver. And you know what? None of those things are bad. Actually, they were really good right up until 2001. Well, 2000, I'd say to 2000s, when that plane crashed into that building in New York City. And an event so far away changed my financial life for the bad. I ended up losing all of my house. I had to empty out my bank account, paying the lawyers and the CPAs. And then, the stock market crashed. So I lost all my money in the stock market. And my financial advisor told me, you're diversified. You will never lose in all 3 markets. And I lost in like 3 or 4 markets, And my 401k was decimated. So all my retirement dreams went up in smoke. And, Mac, before, we talked, but you didn't know that I found this company in the middle of the night one day. I was working so hard and making so much money because I was trying to pay off my bills. When you lose a house, you think that's it. No, you got to still pay for that house. So I still had to pay for things and all that. And, I just sat there and I worked hard. And one day I put up in my driveway and could not remember the day. And I knew something was wrong, Mac. I'm like, wait a minute, I don't remember anything but driving up my driveway. So I went to the doctor and he said, you know what? You keep working like this, you're not going to be here for long. I had stressed my body out so bad and doing something that I loved, and it was really crazy because, your body will shut you down if you don't take heed. But I found a solution to that problem, and it was World System Builder. They started teaching me about finance and what I shoulda, coulda, woulda done with my money. I'm like, wow, this is a solutions company, and they're changing my life. Let me think about this. So, I go to church. I go to church a lot. And one day someone said, a good man leaves a legacy for his children's children. And I said, wait a minute. I've been thinking about me all this time. But now I'm going to apply the principles that I learned, Mac, like growth, safety, tax advantage, and protection, and apply it to my daughter, who now applies it to her daughter. And you know what? I'm leaving a legacy for my children's children. And I'm so proud. But you know what? When people buy things, and we buy with credit cards, and most of us are proud to have a lot of credit cards. I had 5 maxed out credit cards. And that was until I learned that interest on my debt was the worst thing that was going to happen to me. But one day I was in church with Dr. Jackie, and it was a bad situation. It was a funeral. And we were sitting there trying to figure out how this family was going to pay for this funeral. Because in church, you get to know families. And I stopped and asked them after everything was over, so how are you going to pay for all this? They said, GoFundMe. And I literally wanted to cry on the spot, Mac. It hurt me so bad that someone who sat 2 pews away from me never reached out to me or Jackie or Sonia to find out how we can take care of these things. So I think about this all the time, about what we can do to change our community's mindset away from, those things that are temporary to things that are permanent. And family is permanent. And Mac, I'm so proud to be part of your family. And as you can see, I'm also part of Jackie Moore's family,
That's right.
Jackie and Sonia Williams' family, as we all go through the ministrations of changing the people in our lives, that our circle keeps growing and growing. And I want to thank you for allowing us to be on this show, to be able to reach more people and help. And, that's what we're here for. Thank you, Mac.
Hey, man, thank you. Because all jokes aside, we need to hear what's going on. And one of the motivations, as I get ready to kind of wrap this thing up, is that people need to hear other people talking about these kind of situations. And, I know that, through World System Builders, you guys have many platforms and have many conventions and things of that nature where you get into the nuts and bolts about what you do. That's not necessarily what we're trying to do here today. But what I really wanted to get accomplished is that behind all of the solutions that you're talking about are real people. And we've literally heard from 3 real people during this broadcast. And that's what I really wanted our Adoration audience to hear. It's like, you don't have to, even though we do have a doctor on this call, you don't have to be a doctor in order to be able to understand the financial principles and solutions that will not only take care of the current generation, but as you said, have generational wealth, which is definitely a biblical principle. I can tell you that today, I know that my wife and my children are accounted for, and Dennis, that through my marriage, I have 5 children to account for now, and all of them are going to be able to receive something from a financial perspective because of the groundwork that you actually laid down for us. But even beyond that, my children have been introduced to these financial principles, and so as they move along, the whole matter should be that they should also instill these same kind of things to their children, and so on and so on and so on. And that's how we get out of the financial muck and mire that has imprisoned us for so many generations, and to be able to come out and, as we talked about earlier, experience the marvelous light. So I want to thank each and every one of you all. Sonia, thank you. Dr. Jackie, I love you. Thank you. Dennis, you my man. No matter how much you talk bad about me, I love you. But we cannot end this without you all, in whatever way you want to do it, to share how we can learn more about financial literacy, how we can learn more about World System Builders, and any other things that might be on the horizon for you all. So the floor is yours.
Well, thank you, Mac. Sonia, would you mind expanding about our ideas about our platform and our educational program?
Sure. Like Dr. Jackie has already shared, we have free financial workshops online nightly, Monday through Sunday via Zoom. And we also have a big convention for a cause, COVID-19 charity drive, coming up on next Saturday, May 30th. What is this about? This is about health and wealth empowerment for our people. We're going to be giving back by sharing some of the solutions that we need during crises as the time we're facing right now. So we're talking about health, we're talking about wealth, we're talking about retirement, we're talking about debt management, we're talking about estate planning, we're talking about college education, and even business opportunities in the financial industry. So this is something that you definitely want to get involved in to learn the solutions that we can apply to our families and ourselves to help us become more financially secure and financially independent. So thank you for letting me share that information. And if you want to reach out to me, my number is 571-316-5877.
Thank you, Sonia. My name is Dennis Sawyer. My number is 202-718-0314. You know, I'm gonna ask everyone a question real quick. Have you ever lost $20? Do you remember how you tore your house up? You looked into the bathroom and you know it wasn't there, but you looked there 8 times. Then you went through all your pockets. Then you went through the garage. You went through your car. You even, if you got a puppy, you checked under the puppy in his mouth. So what we do is we try to help you understand that finances is an easy thing to understand, but imagine if you don't have it and you get to that retirement age and you find out that no one told you needed more than $10,000, you know, to live off of in your bank account in a safety zone. So we want to expand, like Sonia said, like Dr. Jackie said, we want to expand your knowledge. We will offer you free financial classes. We will make sure you know when they are. We do them on a circular basis every week, like Sonia said earlier. And we know that we can help you save your future. So thank you very much. Dr. Jackie, you have anything else to say?
Yes, one other thing. I think that as we start out as young people, we have big dreams and visions. But as we move through the way our society is set up, we think about our job and paying our bills. And we now have an opportunity to go back to dreaming and have a vision that can expand to include what your family, what you can do for your family and your family can do for their next generation. And it is through our finances. It is through an understanding and gaining a knowledge that you possess, not somebody else telling you. And so you can contact me, and my number is 202-744-4766. But any one of us are able to expose you to how to register for the convention or how to join the classes, which are free, and get an education that will lead you bigger and better places. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Jackie.
Yes.
And our website is worldsystembuilder.com/G20. And this event is on May 30th. So call us.
And I just want to, yes, I want to share one more thing. Some of you may be looking for a free financial strategy. We can sit down with you and help you get your finances in order so that you are planning proactively to prepare for a rainy day. So the time to take action is now. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mac.
Thank you, guys. Dennis, just give us the web address one more time, please.
Sure. It is worldsystembuilder.com/G20. And you can also reach us through Mac here. He can direct you to the 3 of us where we can help you have a better future. You know, sometimes future looks good when we look at our bank accounts. We got a couple $100,000 sitting there or 40,000, whatever you have. But we believe in helping you grow your money faster, keeping it safe, keeping it away from those market fluctuations, you know, and protecting that money. And then, you know, showing you different strategies to leave a legacy to your family. So.
Amen. Again, Sonia, Dr. Jackie, Dennis, it has been a great pleasure. we'll have to do this again, and maybe even
yes.
talk about things that are a little more specific, just to keep our audience aware of the wonderful platforms that you guys are so involved with. So again, on behalf of all of us at Adoration on the When Christians Speak Talk Radio Network, we thank you for your participation. We love you and pray all the best for you and your families as we navigate through and beyond this current pandemic. God bless you all. And to my Adoration audience, you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day, evening, night in our Lord Jesus Christ. Take care.
Take care. Amen.
Bye-bye. Thank you.